Hello everybody, welcome back to Tpull's Corner. I have fixed the NVIDIA. I got some customer support real quick, and I wish I'd been able to do that sooner. That would have saved me a lot of time, but there might be one disgusting recording that has tinny sound on it from yesterday. You'll have to let me know how we're doing now, because we're back using NVIDIA GeForce Experience. They don't ask me to plug that for them. I'm just letting you know what I'm using. I wish I could get a sponsorship. That would be awesome. Anyway, for the new people that have been joining us, my name is Travis. We have been ticking up a little bit in subscriber count, a little bit here and there. If you're brand new, go ahead and consider subscribing. And right now, I'm going to show you two decks. One is the pre-made deck. It's called Balancing Act. And it's sort of based on the Kamigawa series, the expansion Neon Dynasty. If you control an artifact and enchantment, you sort of get bonuses as you go. And we're already dealing with those things, are we? Well, we don't usually have much luck against a poison deck. But we've got another removal here ready for an artifact or a creature. And we've got a couple of different ways to deal with things if we get enough mana here. Let's start with the card draw. It's good for now. We want to get up to at least 5 lands so we can get our limousine out in the Spirit Sister's Call. Ugh. Got the poison on us already. Okay, fine. Let's try Circuit Mender. Life won't matter too much as far as life points, because they're trying to poison us. No white. Blue, green, and black. I'm not sure why they need the green, really. But let's bring out this because we can afford to. And we can attack with Circuit Mender. It's going to offer us the chance. Spirit Sister's Call does this. It looks for the valid cards that we could bring out of the graveyard, but we'd have to sacrifice Circuit Mender. I'm not ready to do that just yet. They're saying nice. I'm not sure if they're being genuine or not, but I will act as if they are genuine. There's going to be enough. Look at this already. Poison, poison, proliferate. If they have 4 copies of each of those, that's like 12 poison counters right there. We kind of need to stop them if we can. So what do we do? Here's, let's see, blah, blah, blah. When it enters or attacks, exile until it leaves. So I think we're okay with doing this to just exile the Skull Dweller. Doesn't have haste, so we can't attack with it this turn, so we'll just hit him with the Circuit Mender. We decline this because we want to do 2 points of damage a turn instead of 1. And if things look bad for us and we need the card draw to get at something, we can do it then. Never mind, we're going to get the card draw now because Circuit Mender's going to leave. Ooh, look at that. Combat Thresher. I only have 6. Okay, so let's do that. That's all we're gonna do. What if I target that? What do they want me? I'd have to trade it with Spirit Sister's Call. I'm not ready to do that just yet. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. No counter spells, please. draw a card and get the maximum. And we can now crew it. Crew the limousine and hit them with the car. I don't need to target any other creature. Bam! It makes you select one among the choices. You just have to remember to decline. That's the trick with Spirit Sister's Call. So this is the pre-made deck. I think they made some adjustments. If I remember right, we didn't have the Brothers War stuff on here originally. It's got to proliferate there for that one. Okay, so if they're going to do that, how about we bring out Naomi? We've got artifacts and enchantments, so we get the bonuses for everything. We get the benefits. And we're just going to crew for 2. And we're going to do a little trick here. We're going to target our own creature and exile it. And that way we get it out of the paralyzation. Now we are going to lose the limo, but we should get the Thresher back at the full value. Bam! Which gives us the card draw. I think that's worth trading the limousine for. Okay, so we end the turn. We have to choose something. And here, I don't mind losing the token to get the creature back and give me more life. This is a little bit more valuable now because if we lose it, like we do here, we still get to draw a card. This time it gets exiled. Up to 6 poison. I guess we passed for the end turn. They did all that on my turn. There's another proliferate card. Up to 7 poison. It doesn't seem like all of my removal spells are going to matter for much. But our life total is going to be high. All right, one more turn. If they can't get us for 3, now let's decline that. Do you not have removal? What is left in those 2 cards? We're going for it. It's a good game. It worked out. We have beaten the shark attack. Alright, so that's the pre-made deck. Let me go in and show you that pre-made deck. And then I'm going to show you a version that I made that wasn't necessarily supposed to be an upgrade, but I'm kind of using as my upgrade. And I'll explain. Balancing Act. Pre-made deck, made by Wizards of the Coast. Works out pretty well. We have 2 Citizens Crowbars in there, 2 Ossifications from Phyrexia, and I don't think this is the original version of it. I thought they made the pre-mades before Phyrexia came out, so I think these are substitutions. But I haven't been paying that much attention to the pre-mades a whole lot. I'm always making my own decks. I don't really pay that much attention to these. We have Spirited Companion. You saw we had that, right? We used that. We have Banishing Slash, 2 of those. 1 Mukotai Soul Ripper. 1 Restoration of a Ganjo. 3 Touch of the Spirit Realms. 2 Nezumi Blade Blessers. 1 Soul Transfer. 3 Circuit Menders. 1 Against All Odds, Phyrexian card. 3 Static Necks from Brothers War. 3 Kami of Terrible Secrets. 1 Mysterious Limousine. 3 Naomi Pillar of Orders. 1 Spirit Sister's Call. And 1 Liesa Forgotten Archangel. And 2 Combat Threshers. Now, they also have 1 Roadside Reliquary. And basically what I did was I went back to Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and I looked at all the cards that allowed us to have benefits if we have both control of an enchantment and an artifact. And I tried to compile a deck that took advantage of those synergies the most. So when I did this, it was before Brothers War, I believe, and Phyrexia. So we don't have, Combat Thresher and Ossification, and I don't think we have Static Net, that kind of thing. I also did not include Liesa. This is good for them, right? It's not a bad card to include, because if you lose some of these while Liesa is out, you just get them all back. So Liesa is always a great card when you have black and white. But what I did was, I was looking more at, let's just put art in there, and it should pop right up. There we are, Enchanting Art. And so we've played the pre-made deck. Now we're going to play this deck. We have 2 copies of Piercing Light. We have 2 Pithing Needles to go against Planeswalkers. We do have 3 March of Otherworldly Light, so this is a little bit crossover with that particular deck. Now their deck is Balancing Act. They have a lot of the same things that we do for the primary creatures, but we have 4. They have 3 Comedy of Terrible Secrets. We have 4 of them. They have 3 Naomi Pillar of Orders. We have 4 of them. So if we have an artifact and an enchantment, when it enters the battlefield or attacks, we get the 2/2 white samurai creature token that have vigilance. And Kami, if you control an artifact and an enchantment, you draw a card and gain 1 life. So that's a little bit of card draw. For other removal, we've got Circle of Confinement. We do have the Banishing Slashes. I've got a Virus Beetle. This is kind of just to help us out with having artifacts and enchantments. It's from Kamigawa. I like the fact that it's 1 chance to do discard against them. But this is one of the few cards that doesn't necessarily benefit both for the artifact and enchantment thing, but it does satisfy a cheap way to have an artifact available if you don't have any of the others out yet. Ecologist Terrarium, so that we can do some land fixing to search for a basic land. I have 4 Borrowed Times. That's instead of the Static Net. Nezumi Blade Blesser. 2 of those. 2 Soul Transfers. These get cheaper if you have an artifact and an enchantment. Oh, not cheaper. I'm sorry. It's you can do both instead of one of the choices. And this is my little suggestion here. Foreboding Statue, 4 copies of it. You can add 1 mana of any color. After 3 times of doing that, they transform into Forsaken Thresher. And 1 little mono dark with Honored Heirloom that also does a little graveyard hate. You can exile target card from a graveyard. I felt that was missing. 2 copies of When We Were Young. If you control an artifact and enchantment, they not only get +2/+2, but the 2 creatures, up to 2 creatures, also gain lifelink. The Camis we covered. Here's the 2 Assassin's Ink. These are the ones that get cheaper. 1 less if you control an artifact, 1 less if you control an enchantment until you're only paying 2 black for them. We have 1 Okiba Salvage to return target creature or vehicle from the graveyard to the battlefield. We didn't do Mysterious Limousine. We do have the 1 copy Spirit Sister's Call, and instead of Liesa, I have Brilliant Restoration. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So whereas Liesa is only good for creatures and only 1 at a time, this is kind of like if we seem like all is lost and they've wiped out everything that we have, then we'll just, boom, bring everything back all at once. So this is sort of, there was a suggestion that I take the pre-mades, and that the pre-mades were maybe not quite so as stunning as previous pre-mades were. I kind of agree with that to a certain degree. So this is kind of what I would do to upgrade the Balancing Act deck. So let's take this one out for a spin and see how we do. One thing that we have a little bit different is we have 4 of the Roadside Reliquary lands. So if we control artifact and enchantment, we can draw extra cards. And we should expect that to a certain extent. What Wizards of the Coast does when they make these pre-mades, they don't necessarily maximize the effectiveness, They want to give us a taste of the new expansions. They want to give us a sampling of interesting cards, but they don't want to overload us. So it makes sense for them to just give one copy of Roadside Reliquary. And if we like it, then you put more in. And that's what we did. We went overload. We put all 4 in. I don't think that it hurts us in the way that... there are some cases when you use non-basic lands, if you're using certain types, that you get too many of them up front, and it's harmful. Here, I think we've got a good enough mix of black and white mana sources, especially with me sticking the Honored Heirloom in, that it shouldn't be much of a problem. We've also got a number of other non-basic lands, so we've got good odds of getting those in place of the Roadside Reliquaries instead of getting just too many generic mana Roadside Reliquaries up front. Okay. We will go ahead and play the second tap land because we don't have a second mana play. We've got Circle of Confinement if we need it, but that's not instant speed. And as soon as we put Honored Heirloom down, we can basically cast anything that we need to. And here I feel good going ahead and just getting rid of the Bloodcaster. A Death Toucher is kind of gross. So... exile. They are not missing the land drop. Okay, now they've got something we can't really get rid of right away. Let's go ahead and put out the Heirloom. Now we have an artifact and an enchantment. We need to wait for this to actually attack us and tap. We get another land. They have their own way to get some life gain. They'll probably attack with the Scoundrel. No reason why they shouldn't want to. And I kind of need to put down a creature as soon as I can just to have a reason to use this card next, right? They didn't attack. Oh, why not? Okay, I have 4 of these. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll use all of our mana. See what kind of removal they have. This allows us to cast a spell so it doesn't flip to night, so it doesn't turn into the Baneclaw Marauder. And if this, when we block it, we turn Naomi into a 3/3, which would still kill it. They are drawing a land every single time, aren't they? Okay, discard a card. We've got Graveyard Hate, so we don't need to worry about them having 4 more creature cards in their graveyard. Do they have a little combat tactic? Or are they just doing a regular trade? They can also... oh, they just do a lightning strike. Okay. Well, that may be well and good and fun. I guess we just destroy you, and we get a Samurai out. And in the meantime, let's see. We can do both of these, right? Yes, yes. We exile you, and we bring you back. Maximum advantage. Because we have both artifact and enchantment, and both of these are ones that were not in the original deck, but I chose to substitute. And I don't think you have a way to take care of enchantments or artifacts. Or, well, if you got red, you could destroy artifacts. But I don't know that they have any. Hello. They throw away something to destroy a creature or a planeswalker, in the hope of finding something better, and they get a Rabbit Battery. I don't think Rabbit Battery is better than Hero's Downfall. We just bring you back down. Now we can't attack with all the 2/2s, I guess. So maybe that's part of why they're happy. But they're kind of out of ammo. And why would you attack there? I don't think we need more land at this point. We will take this. We'll get to draw a card and gain a life. We get more land and more life. We attack with everybody. And we get more samurais. And all that's standing in our way is the Rabbit Battery. And the Rabbit Battery is not standing in our way. It is not getting in our way. Can we do this with anything? Is there anything left in our... Nope, just sorcery is an instance. In something that can't block. Oh, you have haste now. Are you going to try and get some licks in? Are you going to try and hit me? Because you can't block, right? So... even though you modified it, it still can't block. You might as well attack, right? Does not attack. I'm not sure why. It missed the... Did they forget they can't block? That's a simple win. Normally I say good game there, just because I want to basically use that as my way of saying thanks for playing a game with me. But there were some comments on the comment boards that some people get offended if you're winning and you say good game first. So I guess I'll just maintain radio silence. Keep going. That was a very smooth, easy kind of win. Hey, get out there. Now, there was an argument for me putting out untapped land there in case they have a haste attack the first time out. Non-token, modified creature you control dies. Okay. Let's go ahead and choose white. For that, and we'll be done. It's a mechanized warfare deck. We'll take the Reliquary. Foreboding Statue gives us an artifact. We'll see how they feel about destroying a 1/2 creature. Dragon Spark Reactor, okay. We continue to have stuff like that. I feel like we should get rid of that. Let's see, exile artifact. This is an instant. This is enchantment. Let's get rid of the reactor so they can't build anything up. Then, because we have artifact and enchantment, we can now get rid of this little puppy and get a 2/2 creature with vigilance. And we managed to get the omen counter on the statue. We didn't forget that. We're kind of flooding out with land. Okay, you are mana value 3. We will exile you. I want to do another omen counter here. We'll attack with our Vigilant 2/2. The Foreboding Statue is actually a bigger threat unless they have something to destroy artifacts. Lizard Blades. Lizard Blades and Lizard Blades. Lizard Blades and more Wizard Blades. Let's see, how much do I have here? Okay, I have enough. First, card draw and gain 1 life. And it's a land. Next, we get rid of one of these. Give us another 2/2, and then we attack with the 2/2. Lots of 2/2s around here. Okay, so they've got a modified creature kind of strategy going here. We bring you down, and then we do the card draw. We get 2 cards instead of 1. Bring you down, and what is that, 2? 1, 2. I don't have enough spare mana left, do I? So that's a double strike. We attack with you and you. I'm willing to lose the Cami if you want to. So even the Ember Keeper itself counts as a modified creature at that point. And so they get the Spirit. But they can't really afford to attach the Lizard Blades to it and go attack, can they? I can take that hit. We're not even going to block that. They didn't want to hang around. A little too outmatched. We'll play one more and then I'll go in and sort of dissect my reasoning. Oh, 15 wins for the day too. I already had 4 Terror Sunders. They need to stop giving you duplicates once you've gotten so much of an expansion. They need to help you out a little bit more with filling in your gaps. I would even be okay if they started like a program where they know your collection, right? Because the servers have all the data. If you get like 80-85% of a particular expansion, then for your card rewards, if they're going to give it to you from that expansion, they should like fill in the gaps for... I'll take the commons. Give me the commons that I don't have. Okay, I think that for the most part we need to search for white because our most expensive card takes a lot of white mana. So we get a little bit of the ramp going right away, which is good. And Circle of Confinement comes to the rescue again. It doesn't die, so there's no proliferation. But there was nothing out anyway, so proliferation wouldn't have mattered. And if they're mono black, they can't really do much about the enchantment. Fleshless Gladiator. Okay. I have enchantment and artifact, so we'll spend all of our mana, maximum usage, get a card draw and life gain out of it. This is where we find out what kind of removal they have handy. It's mono black. They've got something, right? If you got 6 cards in the early rounds, at least one's got to be removal. A Fleshless Gladiator. Okay. So, do they not have it, or... Okay, fine. Scheming Aspirant, eh? I've got Menace. So they're expecting me to end up with 3 poison counters so they can just bring those back later. And do I want to do it this way now? Yeah, let's maximum use. Return and exile. So we're gonna exile you, bring you back right up into my hand. I don't even have a single poison counter yet. We're doing good. That works out even better than the pre-made. Alright, let's go in and show you. If I had planned this out better, I might have been able to do screenshots or something and have both of them out together at the same time, but that's okay. We'll stick with this one because this is the one that's going to be... I'll do Decklist for both, I guess. I'll publish both Decklists. But yeah, I was paying attention to the mana curve on this one. So 26 lands instead of 24, 15 creatures only, 3.1 mana average, so it's a little bit expensive. But you see I've got a nice little third of the deck is just 1 and 2 drops, a third of the deck in the middle, and then about a third of the deck going higher. And so it turned out to be a pretty good curve. Brilliant Restoration didn't come up, but that's sort of a get-out-of-jail card, right? That's kind of a Hail Mary pass to try and fix things when we're in trouble. I like, sometimes you can get into trouble having legendary creatures having too many of the same type because you can only have one out on the field at the same time. If you wanted to have a little bit of fun, you could throw a mirror box in here and just keep on throwing extra ones out if you wanted to. And I like this card, so I wanted to have it in there and use it, but it doesn't come up. For some reason, we don't draw this card very much when I play this deck. But life gain is somewhat less of a factor now because of the current environment with Phyrexian Poison. So you can get all the life you want. If they hit you 10 times for the Toxic, then you're still dead. So lifelink has definitely taken a downturn in importance in the game. But I've created this before Phyrexia was out, so I think I paid a little bit more attention to life gain than other places would. Let me think. We have these 2 cards, and we have 4 of the Kamis, which all gain you life, and then I've got a couple of lands which gain you life. So not a ton of stuff, but just a little bit of life gain I thought was useful. Naomi's really a star when you get both the artifacts and the enchantments out, and you just start creating these tokens. The 2/2 tokens basically help you go wide and then turn you into kind of swarm deck. So do you really need more than 15 creatures? Well, we end up with more than 15 creatures when we do it that way. And one of the other secrets to Magic is card draw. So let's see, let's run it down. We've got Ecologist Terrarium to kind of get out, tease out a land a little bit sooner if we need it to, right? We have 4 of the Kami of Secrets that give us card draw, so there's 4 card draws right there. And then we've got, let's see, where's the other one? Oh, there. Oh, I only have 3 Roadside Reliquaries, not 4. So, but that's 7 different chances in the deck to go ahead and draw cards. So a little bit of lifelink, a little bit of draw card, a tiny bit of graveyard hate, and enough removal. So let's count up the removals for you real quick. We've got a couple of the 1 manas to do 2 damage to the small ones. If they come at us with Planeswalkers, we can stop them. We've got 3 March of Otherworldly Lights, so that's 5. 6 with Circle of Confinement. Banishing Slash puts it up to 9. And then 13 with the 4 Borrowed Times. 15 was 2 Soul Transfers. And then 17 with Assassin's Ink. So this is a deck that's heavier than I usually go on Destruction. This is kind of the way that I used to do things, where I'd be kind of heavy on removal. And it was during an environment, I think, when a lot of people were saying that it wasn't worth playing Magic because people stacked their deck with just nothing but removal, and then you couldn't really get by with achieving anything because no matter what creature you put down, they were gone. I've scaled that back over the last year just because, I was kind of heavy on my removal when I was making my decks, and I've been trying to find where that edge line is and just see how minimal I can make the removal and still accomplish what I wanted my deck to accomplish. This one I made this one a little bit earlier in time, so I went a little. I don't think I went overboard. I think it's got just the right balance of creatures and removal, and so it even holds up after Brothers of War and Phyrexia have come out with these new expansions. It's still holding up pretty well. So if you've played the pre-mades and you're not convinced the Balancing Act is quite good enough, go ahead and copy this deck list and run it out for a trial, and let me know what you think, how it compares, how it handles for you. And any suggestions? I'm always up for them. I did go over 60 cards, right? I'm up to 67, whereas Balancing Act is still held at 60. So there is that. That's kind of 4 of it is the Foreboding Statues, but that gives me that extra mana and the creatures that turn into 5/5s. And getting a 5/5 out eventually for only 3 mana is not bad, especially if it gives you this any color mana while you're waiting for it. And if they don't have the removal to get rid of a 1/2, and you end up getting the 5/5, that can be a real game turner. So we'll leave it there. Remember to like and subscribe. This is Travis signing off. Thanks everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.